Harry's Wife, part 102.99, Whoopsie. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. You all are aware that Harry's wife cocked up again by whining about the fact that she felt objectified when she engaged in opening briefcases on Deal or No Deal. Roundly ridiculed as a consequence of the fact that she was so objectified she appeared for 36 episodes or thereabouts of the show. It often reminds me of once upon a time I knew about somebody who in a particular workplace had been caught looking at porn. Naughty, naughty. And explained that he had gone on it by mistake, to which a member of the IT team wryly and dryly observed, yes, he went on it by mistake for 45 minutes. That individual that was looking at the porn was also a narcissist, but that's a different story. Here, with Harry's wife, she, of course, looks to revise history because her narrative of being a bananatarian and empathic do-gooder is somewhat affected by the fact that she engaged in major bimbification and that she is now attempting to clear up her past. Bit of a difficult job there, though, because, as I've mentioned in parts passing, you can try and say that you were objectified for 36 episodes on Deal or No Deal, despite the fact that you knew what the gig was and you were smiling throughout. But then, what about the fact that you then were objectified by sucking somebody off, at least playing the part of doing so in Beverly Hills 90210, and that you regularly appeared in your skimpies in suits? That, of course, is the rumours about being a yacht girl. The fact that you regularly, despite being in your 40s, act as if you're a 19-year-old model starlet. The only person that's being objectified is you through your own behaviours. However, many people have spotted the hypocrisy and ridiculous behaviour of Harry's wife and called her about it. But also from a somewhat unlikely source, from somebody who you might expect to at least try and defend her, being also a woman of colour and generally seen as being left-leaning and liberal. Primetimer tells us Whoopi Goldberg dismisses Harry's wife's Deal or No Deal critique. The objectification might be coming from you. I don't think people were looking at these girls like this. I think people want the money. Whoopi Goldberg is sceptical about Harry's wife's claim that she left Deal or No Deal because she felt forced to be all looks and little substance as a briefcase model. Well, nobody forced you to be that way, Harry's wife. That is what you are. You have regularly traded on your looks, and you have no substance because you are the Duchess of Industrial Beige. You're empty and boring. Harry's wife opened up about her experience on the game show in the latest episode of her Archetypes podcast. I was thankful for the job, but not for how it made me feel, which was not smart, said the Duchess of Sussex. I would end up leaving with this pit in my stomach. She can't even get that right. You have a feeling in the pit of your stomach. She is just so stupid. I would end up leaving with this pit in my stomach, knowing that I was so much more than what was being objectified on the stage. I didn't like feeling forced to be all looks and little substance, and that's how it felt for me at the time, all 36 episodes worth, being reduced to this specific archetype. It's stereotype, you thickwit. On Wednesday morning, Harry's wife's remarks received top billing on The View, but Whoopi was quick to dismiss her. Okay, I just want to say that on that show, you basically had a suitcase, and they wanted to know, is this a deal you want, or is this not the deal that you want? Said Whoopi. I don't know that the people who are sitting there are thinking about you like that. They're thinking, I want the money. Varna White is always in something interesting and beautiful, and she's been doing this. She continued, the objectification might be coming from you and how you felt about how these women were being portrayed, and that's what you have to change. Whoopi went on to say that performers take the gig regardless of whether it requires wearing a bozo suit or a big nose, and don't complain. We're not journalists, we're actors. We're trying to get to another place, she added. And you left, and that was your prerogative. But I feel bad, because I don't think people were looking at these girls like this. I think people want the money. After Joy Behar offered a counterpoint to Whoopi's oddly passionate screed, but Whoopi, why is it that every game show has a guy running it, and some gorgeous woman turning letters or holding a box? Sunday Hosting pointed out that Deal or No Deal purposefully hired little skinny tiny pretty models to hold the briefcases of cash. That's TV, replied Whoopi. What do you think you were going to do? You know that's what the show was. My point is, if you see it and that's how you feel, just maybe you don't want to make the other women feel bad, she concluded, because maybe they're trying to make a living too. Of course, Harry's wife doesn't care about bimboing the other women, many of whom have come out and said, I really enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed being on it. It was a stepping stone for me to get to another place. I knew what I was getting myself in for. I was treated well. There was no bra station. If my memory serves correctly, Harry's wife saying that they were made to wear padded bras, and somebody else who's on the show said, that's bollocks. That just didn't happen. Another revision of history from Harry's wife. And this again demonstrates the misfiring nature of her narcissism. Great at asserting control in the moment, but the collateral consequence. She keeps telling the porcupines, and now, because so many people have become attuned to knowing that she lies, they're waiting, and they're waiting. You see, there are other people, other celebrities, other famous people who might tell the odd whopper, but they're generally liked because they don't get in the face in the way that Harry's wife does. They don't play the victim in the way that Harry's wife does. And people give them a pass. They overlook it because they think, they've made a mistake in what they've said. They're only human. The problem for Harry's wife is she has no currency anymore in that regard. Those that were favourable towards her and gave her a chance when she joined the royal family said, yeah, American divorcee, woman of colour entering the royal family, great, this is good, she'll modernise it. And then she royally fucked it up. Because as I've explained, rather than embrace the institution, she sought to fight against it because that's the way that her narcissism was functioning. This has then meant that many people thought, no, you don't come to this country and behave that way. You don't attack the institution in that manner. And then, thereafter, with all of the preposterous revisions of history, lying about the comments about Archie being based on racism, lying about being suicidal and that nobody would help her, lying about the man from Lion King saying that we all celebrated it in the same way when you got married as if Nelson Mandela had been freed. The lies that have gone on again and again and again have not only used up what little currency she had left, but also means that there are legions of people waiting to scrutinise everything that she says and that she does to basically fact-check it for her, but not for the purposes of supporting her, but to point out that she's told yet another lie, that she's been inconsistent, that she's been a contrarian. And this is the problem with her narcissism. It's built a rod for her own back. She thinks that people should love her. The small section of paid lackeys and demented sugars that do, they are painted white. The increasing numbers of people who just aren't interested in her or simply see her for what she is are dismissed. And those numbers keep growing because she will not stop doing what she's doing because her narcissism won't let that happen. When it comes to Whoopi Goldberg calling out your behaviour, alarms ought to go off, but they won't, because Harry's wife will just think, what does she know? She doesn't understand what I'm talking about. It's nonsense. She'll be painted black and be dismissed. She'll be viewed as a turncoat. She'll be viewed as someone that's taken the white man's dollar and therefore is a traitor to the cause. Her narcissism will dismiss Whoopi Goldberg, as it does, because her narcissism will never allow anybody to land a blow on her that sticks in terms of causing her to realise that she's wrong. Everybody else keeps seeing that she's wrong. Everybody else keeps seeing that she tells lies, but her narcissism will never allow her to see it internally. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.